Welcome to Spaces Organized and Styled, the podcast. My name is Caitlin Atkins, and I am an organization expert and life coach. I am the professional organizer to help you get those goals achieved and work through any life challenges that come up along the way. If you're wanting to declutter your home, your office, your schedule, or your life, then you have found the right place for you. In this podcast, I will share with you the tips, the tricks, and the processes to help you get organized, stay organized, and share some life wisdom along the way. Now let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Spaces Organized and Styled, the podcast. I have a question here that I want to answer, and that is how to organize without a professional organizer. And I love this question. I think it's really great, and I hope that what I'm going to teach you here and what I'm going to share with you is going to help you if you are somebody who for whatever reason, you don't want to hire a professional organizer. It may be a cost thing, it may be a time thing, it may just be some uncertainty. It may be that you have a little bit of shame and embarrassment and fear around it to invite somebody into your home to be that personal, in that personal space with you and to work through some of that stuff. Whatever the reason may be that you don't want to hire a professional organizer, I love this question because this is really going to share with you why it is that, sorry, I'm just put my phone on mute. Okay, got it. So I love the question. It's going to be great for you if you're somebody who doesn't want to hire a professional organizer, and it's going to actually have a couple of benefits that I'm actually going to share with you now. The benefits of not hiring a professional organizer are going to be that you're advancing your skills on your own. So you're going to be learning how to organize for yourself. You're going to be taking in that extra knowledge and information and the skills, and you're going to be applying that in your life without so much of the teacher. So you're still learning. You're still going to be kind of creating that own autonomy there for yourself and for your family, for your business, whatever it may be. And it's actually a really nice thing to do. For sometimes, some of the things that we have in life, we are going to need teachers, and we're going to need to hire teachers to help get us to that point of where we want to be, and sometimes you just don't. So it depends. Now, I completely lost my train of thought when my phone went off. So sorry, I'm trying to get back into it now. Oh yes, so this is what I want to say. If you fall into one of these particular categories, I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you don't try to organize on your own at first, that you maybe get a professional organizer in there, at least just to do an assessment, at least just to give you a clear direction, a clear starting point at a minimum. So if you fall into one of these particular categories, or if this applies to you, maybe see about getting a professional organizer in there just to start with, or maybe just to have come in a couple times a week, a couple times a month, just to fine tune some things and to help you along in this process. And that is if you find yourself with limited mobility. So if you are somebody who doesn't have the mobility range that an organizer would, you are going to probably need a professional organizer because it's a safety thing at a certain point, depending upon how your home or business is laid out. If you have things that are up high that need to be taken down, if you have things that need to go up high, don't put anything up, heavy up high. That is a general rule of thumb. So for example, if I'm looking at a linen closet, I'm not going to be putting all of the overstock of toiletries up high. I'm going to be putting toilet paper or paper towels or linens or something that is a little bit lighter up high. So in case it does fall, it doesn't actually do anybody any harm, and it doesn't cause anybody to get hurt. So if you find yourself with limited mobility, I would just recommend getting a professional organizer in there, because if you are bringing things up and down flights of stairs, or if you're in an area with a lot of dust kicking up, if you are just any of those things, just see about getting a professional organizer. If you are finding yourself with limited connections in your community, I would hire a professional organizer, bring them in for that, because that's going to allow you to have the connections that you need to get the rest of the things done that a professional organizer maybe can't do. If you find yourself with limited motivation or endurance, that's a big one. A lot of people get discouraged when it comes to organizing because they don't have the correct steps. They don't know how to start it. They feel so overwhelmed with the process that they just don't take the first step anyways. So if you find yourself in I don't know what to do, or I don't have the motivation to continue, or I've started it, but it didn't work, so I've stopped. That endurance component, that would be the time to call a professional organizer. So don't try to do it on your own. If you have confusion around organizing, so again, that goes back to maybe I just don't know what to start with. I don't know how to take the first step. I don't know. I've tried it. It didn't work for me. I've gone off of this model. It didn't work. That's a good time to call in a professional organizer. If you are experiencing a new phase in your life, that would be a new time to call in somebody. And if you have anybody with brain-based conditions, that if they have yet to have their home organized specifically for them and to tailor to their specific needs, that would be some time that you would need to call in a professional organizer. All right, so if none of those apply to you and you still want to get organized without calling a professional organizer, how do you do it? I'm going to tell you. The first thing is that you're going to need to narrow down what specifically it is that you need to organize. And so when you are looking at potentially your home or your whole life, you could feel so overwhelmed with everything that you feel like you need to get organized. I want you to narrow it down into one thing. And so that would be the one thing that is either the hardest and you want to tackle that one first. I do have some blog posts about that, Eat That Frog, or the one thing. Yes, these are books that are amazing tools if you need some help with that. But if you feel like it's just so overwhelming for you, you don't know where to start, really sit down and maybe create a list. Create a list of all of the things that you feel so disorganized about. That could be different areas of your home, different rooms. It could also be different areas of your life. So if you feel really disorganized around work in general, if you feel disorganized around home admin, it could be around children, around family, around relationships, write everything down. And then find the one thing that it is that you want to tackle first. And so that could be the one thing that's the largest, or it could be the one thing that's the easiest, and it's going to be the easy fruit to kind of to grab. Whatever it is, that's fine, but we're just going to focus on that one area. The hard part about residential organizing is when a client will call me and say, I just want to focus on my home office. I say, that's fine, but we'll need to do an assessment. And when I do the assessment, sometimes this happens, sometimes this doesn't, is that I actually find that the home office kind of seeps over to other areas of the home. So that could be that there are papers and other areas of the home that need to be incorporated into the home office, or it could be that things in the home office need to be moved out. Either way, it's fine, but you do kind of see this blending effect, especially in a home, because the boundaries of what's a clear definition between rooms is maybe not all that clear and defined. So find the one thing that it is that you want to focus on, but just keep in mind that it might change, that you will start to bleed into other areas, but just don't focus on that for now. If you are finding that you want to focus, we'll just keep the home admin example, or the home office. If you're finding that you want to organize your home office and there are things in your home office that need to be moved out, just know that they're going to be moved out and put them outside of the home office just so you can focus on the home office, but tackle that at the next phase of the project or another later phase. So yes, come up with what has the highest impact or will be the easiest. The next thing you're going to have to do is do some research. And that is going to be, so when you're looking at your home office, is it I need to declutter my home office because it needs to be more organized, or is it I need to have better processes in place to keep it organized? And it might be both. It might be both. So do you have, is it organized in general? Is it organized in theory, but you maybe just don't have the correct systems in place? You don't have the correct filing method in place. It may be that it's just so cluttered that you need to declutter it. Like I said, some items could be in your home office that need to be moved out. But keep in mind as well, when you're doing that, you want to incorporate anything that needs to be brought in. So don't organize your office and then go to another room and go, oh, that needs to be moved into the home office. Like, keep a broad approach to this, a very aerial view of the home, and make sure that you're incorporating anything at the time that you're organizing that. You just don't want to go back and do duplicate work. So if you find that it actually is a system thing that you need to have organized a little bit better, so that's going to be researching how to have better systems in place in your home office. It could be, how do I schedule out my day a little bit better so I can incorporate those new systems? For example, what I'm talking about is mail. Mail is something that is commonly coming into the home. It's always coming. Every day you get mail, every single day. And the process or the system on how we bring that into the home or how we deal with that is going to be different for everybody. So you bring it into your home, and where does it go? Does it go in the front door? Does it go in the kitchen? Does it go immediately to the home office? How does that work? The process that you use that's going to fit you best, you need to research and kind of play around with that a little bit. So you're going to bring in paperwork into your home office, and you need to know what to do with it. Are you going to tackle it in the morning? Are you going to tackle it in the afternoon? Are you going to tackle it in the evening, once a week, a couple of days a week? How is that going to work for you? Are there other family members that we need to take into consideration? Do you have a spouse or a partner who's going to be bringing in the mail? What does their process look like, or their system? So kind of think about that as you're working around your home. What I mean about process is it's not just the physical stuff at that point. It becomes more of the actions and the ways in which that we do things. Okay. So you're going to do your research. You're going to find out which one it is. This is where I also want to put in a little caveat here that if you are somebody who has hoarding tendencies, and I never call any of my clients hoarders, sometimes they self-identify as hoarders. That is not true. If you find somebody who is like that, or if you are like somebody who is like that, it is always somebody with hoarding tendencies, because you are more than just your things. And in that case, if you are somebody who has hoarding tendencies, I would recommend that you seek professional help, some other side external help, because it's going to be much harder emotionally to go through that, because at that point it's more, you're working with your mind as well. So I really recommend, and I personally would not work with somebody without having an additional support there, additional help. And if you find an organizer who is doing that without also having additional help and support, if they are not trained, and if they are not educated in that, they don't have the criteria or the credentials, be very careful. That is a big no in the industry. So, and you're going to do more harm than good. So be very, very careful of that. All right, so you've done your research, and you found the area of the home that you're going to organize. You have found whether it's a decluttering or a systems, processes, thing that needs to get organized. And now I want you to define your style. And what do I mean by that? I am not talking about modern versus traditional versus bohemian versus all of those. No, I am saying I need you to define your style. Are you a stuff away or a stuff out? Those are two general categories that I find that most of my clients are in. A stuff away is somebody who doesn't like to see anything. The easiest example I have for this is if you were to walk into somebody's kitchen and they had glass cabinets versus solid cabinet doors. Not everybody likes those two. Like not everybody's going to like one or the other. So if you are a stuff away, you're going to want everything behind a solid cabinet door to where you cannot see through it. Now that may be that behind that cabinet door is all very well organized, or it could not be. It doesn't matter. And if you are somebody who likes things out, you're going to want to be able to see into things in order to be able to know what's behind them. Whereas the stuff away, they already know what's there. They know what is behind that cabinet door. They don't want to see it. So I need you to define your style. Which one are you? And that is going to be huge. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone into a client's home that they have said, and it breaks my heart every time because I feel for them. And they say, I've tried to get organized. I've tried to do this. I've tried to do that. Just didn't work for me. It didn't stick. And I've bought all these containers. I've bought all this stuff to get organized, and it didn't work. And as we're going through the assessment together, I start to see why it didn't work, because they resonate with one or the other. They may have bought containers that are woven or are plastic, and you cannot see through them, and it didn't work for them because they are stuff out that wouldn't have worked. They need to be able to see things. They want to be able to see things in the glass tray table, if it's in their home office for papers, or they're going to want things visually displayed on their desk so that way they're reminded of things. Whereas if they were told either by somebody or society, or they just feel like it all needs to be put away and that is organized, that's not going to work for them. They're going to find that they're behind on paperwork, on projects at work, on bills, on mail, that's not their system that they operate best in. Whereas the stuff away, they're going to be able to thrive in a space that is clear and they cannot see anything. They still know, okay, mail is in this drawer or in this file. I know that the bills that are unpaid are put here in this area. Those are the type of people. So it does a little bit hard, and I wish that more people knew about the different types of people and the way that they organize, because not everybody is the same. So I need you to define your style. This also is the same for when you go to organize things that are maybe physical or digital. You really need to know, are you the type of person who likes to have things written down? Personally, myself, I have my planner right here, and I don't go anywhere without it. If I don't have this, I don't know what my day looks like. I don't know what appointments I have, what schedules. Whereas some people, they like to have things on their phone. Either way is completely fine. You just need to know which one you are in order to really maximize your potential. So if you're not going to hire a professional organizer, you need to do the due diligence and the work to find out which one you are and to figure out which method works best for you. All right, and where do you find this information? Where do you find this pot of gold of all of the stuff? Well, you're going to find it in books. That's going to be the biggest thing, is to find it in books. There have been so many books written about organizing, decluttering, about staying organized, and you're going to find that there are a lot of different methods. Marie Kondo is a big one, and she has a way of organizing that doesn't fit with everybody. And I find it interesting that when clients call me that they have said, I've tried it, it didn't work. I say, okay, so we weren't going to use that. Maybe there's a certain method for hers that works really well. I personally find that her method for organizing and decluttering paper is solid. It is great. I recommend it all the time. It is ruthless. She is cutthroat with her paperwork. Her method with paperwork is pretty good across the board. Even if you don't align with all of her other ways that she declutters and organizes, her method for paper is great. So read her books, listen to them on Audible, get them at the library. I would also say that Julie Morgenstern is an industry standard. She has been around forever. She is really, really great, and her ways that she organizes is also really, really great. So she's got a couple of different methods to the way that she organizes. So look at books. Just don't get overwhelmed with the books, because there's quite a lot out there on the market about which one and what way to organize and declutter and then stay organized. That's going to be the key that you're looking for, is to, now you've organized, you've decluttered, how do you stay organized? So make sure that you're incorporating that last component that most people actually fail to implement. You can also listen to podcasts like you're doing now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check out other YouTube channels to see what everybody's doing for organizing there. You could go onto not go onto TV, but you could look at TV shows and how they organize. Now, I do say this with a bit of hesitation, and that is because a lot of people will look at those TV shows and get this idea and this idealized picture in their mind about what is capable for them. And yes, everything is capable for you. You can absolutely do that. However, don't let the TV shows discourage you in the sense that somebody got organized in an entire week. They did a whole home cleanup in an entire weekend. That is a very unrealistic expectation, even with a professional organizer. And I should have a podcast already published about that, about the TV versus reality. And do not allow the TV shows to kind of tell you that is how quickly or the way that it needs to be organized, because it's a very cookie cutter approach and it doesn't work for everybody. And you will never stay organized with a cookie cutter approach. You will need something that is tailored specific to you and fits you, your needs, and your family's needs. It's also hard seeing that somebody got decluttered in 30 minutes on a 45 minutes on a TV show, and it's actually going to take you longer than that. To say how long, who knows, but it will take you longer. You can check out social media posts. That is a great way. Pinterest is also great. Pinterest has a lot of really great ideas to get organized. Some of them are more DIY. So if you like the DIY methods, those are great. I will say also that the Container Store is actually a pretty fun place to hang out. It is interesting when you walk around the Container Store how they have things in different sections of kitchen, bathroom, home office. But what you find is actually things that were in the kitchen you can use in the home office, or you can use them in your bedroom. For example, I don't have any with me, but these dividers that they have for the pot holders, they are in the kitchen section, obviously, but they're really great also in the master bedroom for clutches and purses and holding, keeping purses organized. So go into the Container Store with an open mind, but check out also their social media posts, because that's going to be a great place for you to find additional content and information and different ideas. You can also check out blogs. There are thousands, if not millions of blogs on how to get organized and decluttered. So again, what you're getting with not getting a professional organizer is you are not saving the time and expertise. You're going to have to do a little bit of work on your own, the education and the skills component, but it's all really great at the end, because what you're going to come away with is you've deep dove into the world of organizing. So now you know which process and systems work for you. You've read the books, you've listened to the blogs, you've listened to the podcast, or you've read the blogs. You know now way more than the average person on how to organize for you and how to organize for other people as well. So I hope that answers the question, how to organize without a professional organizer. Good luck. If you need help, feel free to reach out. You've got a vast wealth of information out there, more than you think that you do. All right, everybody, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, did you love that episode and want to dive in deeper? Come hang out with me on